Hopping is a rhythmical locomotor movement skill that involves the body moving horizontally or vertically from one point to another on one foot. For correct stance, the student should have a straight and strong supporting leg, foot flat on the floor, the non-supporting leg bent in next to the supporting leg, trunk should be straight and upright, eye line up and focus forward. Hopping requires two elements, which are balance and force. Balance is a key component involved when hopping, which requires practice and good basic technique. Achieving a good center of gravity before attempting to hop is essential before applying force and completing the fundamental motor skill.
Another essential component is force. In order to be able to reach maximum height and distance in a hop, a great amount of force is required. This is attained by extending the ankles, legs, and arms forward and upward simultaneously.
Hopping is a component of many other fundamental skills such as skipping, kicking, and triple jump, as well as several dancing activities. As well as being used in sporting activities, it is also a crucial skill in everyday life to develop and obtain in order to be able to avoid serious injury in certain situations. This includes being able to manage your body in a way that allows you to be better coordinated when knocked off balance and losing your footing. This is specific to younger age groups as they are still growing into their body and learning to coordinate everything at one time.
Once a student has mastered the skill, they are able to then focus on other skills and tasks that require hopping. This further enhances their sporting ability and gives them a great opportunity to excel in sports such as dance, gymnastics, and athletics.
It is recommended that students should be introduced to the skill towards the end of grade 1 and then should have fully accomplished hopping by the end of grade 4. When the students are first introduced to the skill of hopping, they will go through the discovering phase, where they will develop an understanding and begin to experiment with different ways of using the skill, such as in their playtime. At this stage, it will be difficult for the child to perform and will not be able to achieve maximum height and will lose balance easily.
The next stage the student will encounter is a developing phase, where the children will practice the skill during games and sports, and their technique will start to improve. Children tend to overuse their arms in this stage and also flex their knees when landing. The final stage is the consolidating phase, where students have mastered the skill and it can now be applied in different contexts and incorporated into their daily and sporting activities.
The age we have chosen as an example is a grade 2 to 3 student who is in the developing phase of learning to hop. At this stage, an average child will have been previously introduced to the basics of hopping.
When demonstrating how to hop to a grade 2 or 3 student, make sure you identify the following. Their arms are to be bent and swinging forward when taking off and backwards when landing simultaneously with each other. Make sure that the child has their eyes focused forwards instead of looking at the ground. Also, ensure the child is bending their knee to absorb shock when landing.
In this stage, the key focus should be on establishing balance and rhythm whilst performing the hop rather than speed, distance, or height. At this age, a good activity to introduce is partnering up students whilst holding each other and having them hop to further advance their balancing technique.
For early developmental stages, having a horizontal bar or wall for the students to hold on to while practicing their hop will enable the children to break the movement down and focus specifically on proving their balance. For later developmental stages, setting out cones or markers for students to hop around will challenge the students' agility and ability to control their height, length, and speed, and overall improve their hopping technique. If you do not have any equipment to create a challenge for the students, having them hop with one arm or both arms above their head will create a difficult task that will demonstrate how important their arms are for balance in the hop.
To begin with teacher positioning, today our student will be Charlie on the left and our teacher will be Nikita on the right. When practicing this skill, students should always be in teacher's eyesight. When a teacher is demonstrating this skill visually to the students, they should demonstrate the cues needed from a side view. This enables the students to have a better understanding of the cues needed for this skill. When the students are performing this skill, teachers should be constantly moving around, viewing students mainly from the side and front angles to view common errors such as out of rhythm arm movements, eyesight angles, and flat-footed landings. When teaching the skill to young students, it is important to provide instructional cues that draw on both the cognitive and motor learning aspects of the skill. Instructions should be short and straight to the point and focusing predominantly on the cues of the skill. An important cue to remember when teaching a skill is to consider the age of the audience and manipulate your use of language to suit that age group. Common errors whilst performing a hop include eyes focused on the ground instead of forward, hopping flat-footed instead of on the ball of the foot, arms out of rhythm. Younger children tend to move arms up and down instead of in a forwards and backwards motion in rhythm with their legs. Non-supporting leg is out of rhythm with supporting leg. Not bending the working leg's knee when landing. Not being able to balance and putting the bent leg down after only a few hops. Holding the bent leg too high and not rhythmically assisting the supporting leg.
Feedback to students whilst developing a skill should always be constructive and positive. Positive feedback can be used through focusing on what the student did right, and constructive feedback includes corrections and allows the student to improve. When teaching a group of students to hop, allowing them to have a go and then stopping them all and focusing on one student who is completing the skill well is a great way to positively point out specific development points. Using both intrinsic and extrinsic feedback will allow the student to explore the developmental cues more thoroughly. However, you need to remember to keep this feedback very clear and specific. For example, does that feel correct and did that look correct?
According to your lesson plan, resources that could be used will generally be available in any sports department at a school. Some resources are hoops, cones, and horizontal platforms, for example, chairs or fences. In this video, we used a water bottle in the place of a cone.